Hey guys, welcome to another video by me, and yes, you did read that title correctly. I'm going to be telling you guys how to kill players that are far better than you. And yes, you, even the lowly platinum with aim that's, maybe not so great, you can still kill these players. And I'm going to give you 3 different categories of tips to work on that will help you kill these kinds of players. The first category of tips I have to talk to you guys about has to do with positioning. One of the best things you can do for your positioning is to obscure as much of your player model as possible. You want to obscure and hide as much of your hitbox as possible. One of the best ways you can do this is to be on a head glitch. This is where only your head is visible, and where you can still see the enemies and shoot at the enemies, but the only thing they see is your head. This is going to make it a lot more difficult to hit you. The next thing you can do for your positioning is to be on good positioning or to be on high ground. Good positioning is going to be positioning that is going to make it difficult for them to reach you easily. They're going to have to run through maybe an open field or through a place that's just has no cover, like some sort of low ground. They have to run through that sort of bad area, bad positioning area to get to you. And then high ground is the sort of same deal. High ground works in a way that they're going to have to maybe climb a flight of stairs or physically climb a wall to get to you. And while they have to do this, they are in bad positioning, or maybe they're stuck in an animation and they can't even shoot at you. So forcing them to walk across somewhere with no cover, or to climb up like a flight of stairs where they're exposed in the open, or to have to physically climb a wall where they cannot shoot at you but you can shoot at them. These are great examples of good positioning and good high ground that you should try to use against them. The final thing we're going to talk about is strafing around a corner, kind of peeking out and then peeking back into the corner, returning back to cover. You want to peek out, shoot your gun for a little bit, and as soon as they start shooting back at you, you want to start returning back into cover. This is going to make it so that you take as little damage as possible while putting out as much damage as possible. The second category of tips I want to talk about is a category I like to call cheese. This is all the stuff that's in the game that is either overpowered or just unbalanced in some way. The first thing within this category I want to talk about are the character abilities. There's different groups of abilities. The first group I want to talk about are the information gathering abilities, such as Bloodhound or Seer's Scan. These are going to let you know where your enemy is. And by knowing where your enemy is, you can better position yourself and use positioning to either catch your enemy off guard or just position yourself better so that you're more ready for when the enemy pushes you. The second group of abilities I want to talk about are the damaging abilities. These are all the abilities that literally do damage to your opponent, such as Valkyrie's rockets, or even Bangalore's smoke launcher, or Fuse's cluster grenade. These are going to take away some of your enemy's health, so you have to hit them with less bullets. It's going to make it easier to kill them. The final group of abilities I want to talk about are the movement abilities. These are like Octane Stim and Bangalore Strafe. They're going to make you move faster, which is going to make you more difficult to hit. Even things like Mirage's ultimate, it's going to make it difficult to pinpoint which one you are, which is going to give you a little bit of a boost that you need to maybe maneuver around your enemy or start shooting and get some damage off before they can do some damage to you. The second thing within this category I want to talk about are just overpowered weapons. Weapons that are easy to use. These are going to change every season, obviously, but if there's like an obvious meta weapon that is not challenging to use, this is going to be the weapon you want to use. And now we finally get into our third and final category of tips, psychological warfare. This is my favorite category. These are little things you can do to trick your opponent into making a mistake. Specifically into getting overconfident. That is one of the best things you can do for yourself. One of the best ways to make an enemy overconfidently push you and leave maybe their positioning and go into the open is to let them crack your shield. Almost all good players, especially all the players I play with, as soon as they crack somebody's shield, myself included, they are full sending that. So if you can let them crack your shield and then immediately retreat into cover and take a battery, or even better, if you're near some boxes or near some shields, if you can take one of those shields, heal it up fully, and put it maybe behind cover or even around a corner, and you let that enemy player crack you, and then you run around that corner and grab that second shield, that is going to do wonders for you. Because in that enemy player's head, they're going to be expecting you to not have a shield, and they're just thinking about running over there. They don't got to hit a lot of shots. They don't got to do a lot of work. They're just going to run over there and kill you. And you're going to pop out with these two fully loaded weapons ready to go. Now, if you can hear them close to you, I'd recommend maybe staying in cover or around the corner and just training your crosshairs on where you think they're going to pop out from. If you don't really hear them or they're not close to you, then you can pop out of cover and just try to shoot them while they're moving towards you. Another great thing you can do to make them push you overconfidently is to purposely miss a bunch of shots on them. Like to just purposely shoot near them but not really hit them. That's going to make them think, oh, maybe this guy's, not that good. I'm just going to full send him because it's going to be an easy fight for me. If you want to use psychological warfare against your opponent, I'd also advise against using movement and maybe some of the weapons that the higher skilled players tend to gravitate to, because they're going to assume that maybe you're not one of those higher skilled players, and that's going to make them overconfident. That's going to make them make mistakes because they're not thinking about all the ways they're going to have to outplay you. They're thinking, oh, this is just some easy kills. And just one final disclaimer for you guys. Nobody wins all of their fights. Nobody wins every single fight, not even the best players in this game. So if you die, don't get discouraged. Just try again. Focus on what went wrong. Focus on correcting that. And to recap pretty much the entire video, you want to make sure you use the best positioning possible. You want to use that cheese against your opponents, even though it's kind of BM. And you want to try to use that psychological warfare, get into their head. Make them think that you're not a formidable enemy. Make them let their guard down. Make them get overconfident and use that against them. And that'll be pretty much the end of this video for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys took something away from it. And good luck out there. Hopefully you guys can get an edge on those better players.